We exist in this universe on planet Earth, and our existence is possible by a fine-tuned balance between physical forces. There are some facts we know by observation and experience, and some facts that we know by inference. We have an ability to recognize our consciousness and conscience. Using our senses and rational faculties of inference, we come to know that the lifeless matter and living beings owe their existence to someone else due to their inability to explain their existence by self-creation. Matter has not created itself. Life in its complex and intelligent form in humans can also not be explained by self-creation. Matter is malleable in our hands, and we can convert it into different ways to make aeroplanes, skyscrapers, and pyramids. We, having this ability or potential, have also only come into existence in this world few 100,000 years ago. Even after gaining tremendous advances in artificial intelligence, we cannot claim to explain our existence through self-creation and creation of consciousness from unconsciousness. In a mindless universe, we find ourselves as sentient beings in search of the origin and meaning of life. Through science, we can explain origin of universe from Big Bang and origin of life from a self-replicating molecule. But, the question of agency and will is outside the domain of science. If this universe had a beginning, then it cannot explain itself from within its constituents in the form of matter, energy, physical laws, physical forces, and various kinds of life which evolved much later after the beginning of universe. All of these elements of the universe must also have an origin. Many scientists, even including those who are agnostics and atheists, find that there is a respectable case and reason for a deity. Some explain it as watchmaker or blind watchmaker. Some describe it as mathematician giving birth to laws and mathematics in the universe and its working. Science can help us thus far in questions of origins. Those who believe in scientism stop at this point and do not entertain the questions of purpose and meaning which are beyond the scope of science. Nonetheless, logic and human curiosity demands that we go further in search, if not with science, then with our ability to infer the unseen from the seen. Using logic and history, we can also delve further. Can we turn to the Creator and learn the purpose and meaning of life? Faith in God is not a figment of imagination. It is the widely held belief in entire human history as far back as we go in history from available historical records. It has an ontological rather than just a cultural basis. This belief would reflect in culture, but it does not mean that it is a creation of human mind to engineer faith in God out of fear or material need. Faith in one God beyond this universe and faith in afterlife accountability transcend world as well as this life. There can only be one and only God unfolding universe from the point of infinitesimal singularity through Big Bang. It happened in such a precise way that we are able to go back to a fraction within second of that event and then explain the physical processes from that point onwards to now and far future. Questions of meaning and purpose of intelligent life with consciousness, aesthetic sense, intelligence, power of inference and moral conscience are important. The book Reflections on the Origins explores the answers to these questions taking cues from science, philosophy, and faith. This book extensively presents the views of prominent scientists, such as Professor Stephen Hawking, Professor Richard Dawkins, Professor Lawrence Krauss, Professor Michio Kaku, Professor Brian Greene and Professor Neil Tyson among others. The discussion also quotes Albert Einstein, Steven Weinberg, Karl Popper, Norman Campbell, and Richard Feynman on epistemological questions. The views of cultural and political critics like Max Weber, Sam Harris, Samuel Huntington, and Professor Pervez Hudhoy are also presented. The book also quotes philosophers like Plato, Immanuel Kant, William Paley, Voltaire, René Descartes, John Locke, and Professor Daniel Dennett among others. The book also provides faith-based perspective and answers to the questions raised by some of these thinkers. This book gives a detailed account of faith-based worldview in the last divine words of God on this earth. The book also explains the faith-based values for righteous conduct in our relation to the environment, other life forms and other humans like us in society. The book also makes an effort to clarify misconceptions about faith. It discusses how faith deals with gender rights, democratic values, and pluralism. It is hoped that this book serves the purpose to clarify positions of theism and atheism and science and faith. We all inhabit this planet and need to live with our differences. Peaceful coexistence will also depend on clarifying misconceptions so that we are able to understand each other's perspectives. It is an effort towards that end, and it is hoped it helps in contributing to this aim.